Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our online webinar this morning on Microsoft Teams. Just bear with me, I was just going to leave it just a minute just to see if we might have any other attendees, so it won't be too long before we start. Hi there, so we'll get started. As I said, thank you for joining us again. And yeah, my name's Rosie Tanner. I am the marketing coordinator at Italic. So yeah, we'll be running through 5 things that you don't know about Microsoft Teams, which will be led by our operations director, Robert Milner. Just before we start, if you do have any questions, if you wouldn't mind popping them in the question box, which is in the control panel, sort of towards the bottom, just above handouts. We'll be answering any of your questions towards the end of the webinar. So over to you, Robert.
Cool, thank you, Rosa. Morning, everyone. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. So hopefully you're going to hopefully learn a few things about Teams today. So I'm going to run you through 5 things you hopefully don't know about Microsoft Teams. So just to quickly run you through what we're going to be covering today. So content-wise, we're going to be looking at channel tabs and how they can give you more functionality within channels within a team. We're going to discuss how to create and take meeting notes. I'm going to show you how you can send emails directly to a channel within a team. We're going to look at the planner functionality within Teams, which allows you to create and track tasks. And finally, I'm going to show you one really cool feature within Teams, which is approvals. That approvals was actually just released a couple of months ago, so I'm quite excited to show you what approvals is and what it can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flick out of this presentation slide and I'm going to go to my Microsoft Teams client. So let me just come out of this, all of that, and here I've got my Microsoft Teams client. I've actually just signed in just with a demo user because when I'm signed in with my own account, there's quite a few teams. So what I've actually done is I've created just a demo project team in this instance, and I'm going to run you through just some of the key aspects that we're going to discuss this morning. So the first one was channel tabs. So I've done my Blue Peter badge moment and I've created a few extra tabs along the top of my team. So by default, when you create a brand new team, you get 3 default tabs, which are posts, files, and wiki. Posts are what they sound like. Posts are for typing content and sending chat messages. And for people to provide updates on files is for storing files. So at the back end, it uses things like SharePoint. And wiki is a really cool place for just making notes and keeping things in a central area when you want to make notes. So at the top, I've actually put in some channel tabs. I put one for meeting notes, one about a project website, one for a mind map, and one is actually project tasks, which we'll come on to later. So tabs allow team members to access services and content in almost a dedicated space within a channel or within a chat. This lets your team work directly with the tools and data that you may already be using. So maybe things like if you use cloud services like Dropbox, you can add like a direct tab onto here for that. So owners and team members can add tabs to a channel, to a private chat and a group chat to help integrate any other cloud services that you may be using. And tabs can be added to help your users and colleagues easily access and manage the data that they need or interact with the most. So for example, I've given you a couple of examples which you can see at the top, which is mind map or a project website that you may want to link to. And also you may want to maybe link to things like a Power BI report for a dashboard so people can quickly access the reports that they need. So I'll just quickly run you through some of the tabs that I've already created. So if I click on the project website, this is just a complete example. So if I click on that, what it actually does is, hopefully within the frame, it loads up a website, which is actually just the Italic website just for this demo purposes, but you could use this, this particular tab just to run through add in any particular website you want. And to add a tab, it's very easy. You literally just go to the top of the screen here where the plus button is. And then you're actually presented what looks like a scary amount of additional content that you can add. The most common tabs that you add are presented at the top. So there's quite a lot of third-party integrations with tabs. So one example is you might want to link in a mind map. So if you just type in mind in the box at the top, you can then find mind maps. And there's a whole plethora of other integrations as well. I think there's one for Box, yeah, which is an online storage platform. So the world's your oyster, really. So just to add a tab, you just click the tab that you want. So in this case, I'll just choose a website. I'm going to give the tab a name, in this case Google, and I'm going to point the URL just to Google just for this demo purpose. And I've then got an option to post to the channel about the tab, and I'll show you what that does in a second. So it just creates a brand new post in the post tab. And here you can see I've got a brand new tab which can take colleagues straight to Google, but in this case you might want to take it straight to a project website. If I flip back to the post tab, it then automatically creates a post within the team to say I've added a new tab at the top of the channel, and there's the link. So anyone who comes into this particular channel within the team can just click straight on the link and it takes them straight into the tab. So that's tabs. So that's quite a cool feature. And another good feature I think with tabs in channels is that you can also automatically pin files, presentations, videos, any other content that you may have stored within a channel. So for example, I've got a presentation that I was working on yesterday, and if I want that to be pinned, I can actually make that a tab as well. So by doing that, it automatically creates a tab within the channel, and then it just makes it a lot easier for people to go and access the files and presentations or videos or anything else that you may want people to quickly have access to. Okay, so the next thing on my list was meeting notes. So I'm going to run you through what meeting notes are, how to take meeting notes before a meeting, and how to take notes during a meeting. So meeting notes are a real great place to capture and share notes before, during, and after a Teams meeting. There's just a couple of gotchas that you need to just keep in mind about meeting notes. So meeting notes are only available to people in the same organization as the meeting organizer. So if you were to invite people that are external to your business, then they will not be able to access the meeting notes. It's just for internal use only. Meeting notes are only available in meetings with up to 100 people at the moment, and only people who are invited to the meeting before notes are created will have access to them initially. If other people are invited to the meeting, they can request access to the meeting notes. So to take notes before a meeting, you actually have to go over to your calendar. So I've got in my calendar just a demo meeting for later on. So if I wanted to create some meeting notes before that meeting, I have to go into the calendar app within Microsoft Teams. I right click on the meeting itself, and then you actually have to go to chat with participants. And there it redirects me over to the chat panel within my Microsoft Teams client. And here I've then got access to the meeting notes. And then from there, I can start to take some notes. Wait a second to load. And here I can start to make some notes. So I could start to maybe build an agenda. For example, what are we going to discuss? Topics for next week, and so on. And then you can start to build up your meeting notes as before the meeting is going to start. So then during the meeting, if you would like to access those same meeting notes, what you would do is, so if I just flick back to my calendar and just say, for example, I want to join this meeting, just pretend for a minute it's 5 o'clock in the evening. So if I click join online, and I just join with this, I'll just keep myself muted to prevent any feedback. Sharing notes within a meeting. So the next thing I was going to show you was how to send emails directly to a channel. Now I really like this feature because I think it's I don't think a lot of people really know about it. But within any channel that you create within a team, it gets its own unique email address. So in this particular example, I've got my demo project team and I've got my general channel. So I'll click the little 3 dots here to get more options. And then I click on get email address. It then gives me a unique email address, which is completely unique to this channel. I'm going to just click copy. And while I'm talking, I'm actually going to just send an email directly into this channel, just so you can see what happens. Test email, and I'm going to click send. And then hopefully in a few minutes, we should see that email automatically get added as a post into this particular channel. So it's just popped in there, as you can see. So I've sent an email to this channel, it's just come straight through as a post. So I've just put that as a test email, but you could have an email which has an attachment on it and send it direct to a channel. And I've also got the option of viewing the original email, which then just pops open the original email just directly into your Outlook client. You may be thinking, what is the actual use for this? So we usually use sending emails to a channel direct for when colleagues maybe receive emails about a particular project and they don't want to use Outlook and forward that email or attachments to other colleagues that are involved. But we then think, well, that would be really good if this was part of this particular project team, so other people can then start to collaborate on the particular email. And what's also good as well, if you bring other people on into the project at maybe a later stage, you've maybe got a new starter, or you just want to bring new people into the project, into the team, they can obviously see this email and the attachments as they start to go through the posts list. So it's a really good way of just trying to collaborate together as a project and as a team and in one area, rather than just having emails going backward and forward and then just, you know, clogging up your inbox. As I'm sure if you're like me, you get quite a lot of emails in your inbox, and sometimes I think putting content like this into a team is more relevant, and it's easier for people to then collaborate and you know, join in on the conversation and give ideas in real time as well. So the next thing I was going to show you on my list was how to create and track tasks. And in typical fashion of my Blue Peter badge, I've already created a project tasks tab, but I'll run you through how to add it anywhere. So on this, so to add a new project tasks tab, you literally go to the add tab functionality at the top, and then you need to add in this particular tab here, which is called Tasks by Planner. And then you get the option of either creating a new plan, or if you've already got an existing plan, you can then select the existing plan from the drop-down box. But just to quickly give you an overview of what you can use Tasks by Planner and To Do for. So we actually use them internally at Italic quite a lot, and it's a really good way of managing tasks between your team. So Tasks makes it easy for your team to create plans, to organize and assign tasks, maybe share files. You can also chat about what you're working on within the Tasks tab and get updates on any progress. Tasks can also be used to manage maybe things like you've got a new marketing event, so you may want to create a list of tasks for that, or maybe you want to brainstorm some new product ideas, or maybe you want to track a project or prepare for a customer visit, or anything you want. It's just a really, really good way of organizing your team maybe more effectively. What I really like about Microsoft Tasks as well is that you can organize work visually. So each plan has what's called its own board. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come out of this for now and just take you back to the one I created earlier. So this is what they call a project board, which is, if you've done much project management, is almost looks like a Kanban board where you have what they call separate buckets. So like this particular bucket is called backlog. Then we have one called assigned and in progress and completed. You can create as many buckets as you like. So I could have maybe another one for not going to be implemented, for example. And then I can easily drag and drop any tasks onto any other bucket, which is just literally just picking up the task and moving it to another bucket. And the great thing about tasks is I can assign people onto tasks, as you can see here from the assigned column. So what I did for this, in this particular instance, I took that task, assigned it to this demo user, and I've given it a due date as well. But let's just go through the process of adding in a new task just quickly. So we could say our task is to maybe order some more stationery, just as an example. I'm going to set a due date for next Wednesday, and I'm going to assign that actually back over to my own personal account. Just click off it and then click add task, and then that adds a task in for that particular person. Then what I will do is I'll just move that task over to the assigned bucket because I've assigned it to someone, and that's just how I'm organizing this particular set of tasks. And what I can also do then is go into this, and you've got various options within here as well. So you've got progress, so I can put this to say yes, I'm in progress. I can set the priority. I can also set a start date, add any notes. And the great thing about notes is as well, you can then maybe say we are getting low on toner. And then I've got an option just to click show on card, which then if I come out, actually shows it on the card as well. So it's a really good way of providing a description for a particular task, and you don't have to then go into it and find out what the notes are. You can also add checklists as well. You can maybe say order toner, order paper, So then that adds it as a checklist. And again, you can click the option to show it on the card so that I can see, all right, so I need to order some more stations, so I need to order toner and paper. And then once I've ordered toner, I can maybe just check it. And once I've ordered paper, I can also check that. And I can see there, I've actually done those items on my checklist. And I can add attachments. So if there's an attachment that's valid, maybe I want to put maybe the invoice order on for the stationery, just to show that I've ordered it. And then I can put any comments on there as well. Ordered stationery. And when I send a comment, it sends everyone that is part of this particular team and tasks an email of that effect. And also when you assign someone a task, you actually get an email notification to say you've been assigned. So here I've just opened the email from my Outlook. As you can see, I created a task which was order some more stationery. It's told me that I've got a new task and that I can go and open that in Microsoft Planner. But because I'm using Teams, I can quickly see those in my Teams client anywhere. And the great thing about Planner is that it also works across quite a plethora of devices. So here I'm using it on Windows 10 in my Microsoft Teams client. But you can also synchronize your planner tasks using the Microsoft To Do app on Windows 10. You can also download the Microsoft To Do app on iOS and Android, and that will also synchronize any tasks that are assigned to you as well. It's a real great way of just bringing everything together from a task project point of view that you might be assigned in on these planner boards, and also it gives you the chance just to manage your own to-dos as well, which is exactly what I do. So I use the Windows 10 Microsoft To Do app, just so I've got all my own personal to-dos on one page, and then it brings in all my planner to-do tasks as well. So last but not least, I'm going to just quickly show you approvals. So approvals is a great piece of functionality that was released by Microsoft in mid-January of this year. So the functionality is very much still in its infancy, but it does have some really great features that we think organizations can use. So a creation of an approval request, is very easy, and you can also attach documents onto it. And you might be thinking, what could I use this approvals process for? Well, I've made a note of a couple of examples that we're using it for already. So we are actually using it for approving statements of work at the moment, but you could maybe use it to attend an event, or maybe to purchase something. It could be to review any sort of document. It could be to maybe review and approve expenses, for example. And what is really good about approvals as well is it gives you some traceability as to who approved the particular item and when. And one really good thing with approvals, it is not possible at the moment to remove any earlier approvals that have been entered into the list. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over to the approvals app now as well, just to show you what the app looks like. And I got to there, just by clicking the three dots, and approvals is already on the list, but if it wasn't there, I could just go and find the app from there. So I've already created one approval, which I did yesterday, which was just an expenses approval, just as an example. And there I can see the expenses approval has been approved. But to create a new approval, it's as simple as clicking on New Approval Request. You could say Review Document. I'm going to put the reviewers in this box, which automatically just gets filled in. Please approve document in the details. I'm going to add an attachment, and I've just got a document on here, which I'm just going to quickly attach. And now I can send that off for approval. Says the approval request is being created, and what it's actually doing in the background, it's creating the approval request actually within the approval app, and then it will actually send me an email and the request in my own Microsoft Teams client. I then get the request, and then it's down to me to approve it. I'm actually just going to go on and approve that request. And just so you can see what it looks like from my perspective. So this is me logged into my own Microsoft Teams client. I've then got this approval, which says, please review this document. I can then go and look at the document, and then I can see any details about that particular approval. So all I'm going to do is going to say approved, click approve. It's going to submit my response. Just move that out of the way. And then I actually get a status back, although it's on my other screen to say that my request has actually been approved. So what I'll do is I'll just come out of the approvals app. I'll just go back into it. And as you can see, it's now changed the status to approved. And I can see who it's been approved by and when. So it's a really, really good feature to be able to approve documents or anything else of that matter. And it's a good way of just having a traceable and accountable way of approving documents. So that was the end of the demo and the things that I was going to show you today. I'm going to hand you back over to Rosa. I'll just make that full screen. But yeah, happy to answer any questions anyone has.
Thank you for that, Robert. It was really insightful. I hope it was for everyone else who's joined today. So I'll just check to see if we do have any questions. I can't currently see any. So if you do have any questions, I guess you can always send us an email to us, well, whenever you've got the chance. Yeah, so if you don't mind going to the next slide, please, Robert, sorry. Oh, my sound cut out for a few seconds, so apologies if that was the same for anyone earlier. So yeah, at the moment we're going to be offering a free trial of Microsoft Teams Manager. I've just got a poll that I'll set up now. So you should be able to see a poll on your screen, and it was just to see if you would be interested in Microsoft Teams Manager or not. So if you wouldn't mind just filling in, that would be fabulous. And yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to Robert Milner there. That was a brilliant presentation. Really enjoyed it and hope everyone else did. At the end of the webinar, I've just put a short survey. There's just a couple of questions on there if you wouldn't mind answering those. That would just be really useful for us. It shouldn't take more than 3 to 5 minutes, I would say, at the very most. So yeah, thanks everyone, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day.